Woof! Hello, everyone. Welcome to Two Dogs Digs Tuesday night hall pass. It's time for Christmas in July. I don't have a Christmas sweater on, so that's okay. Christmas in July. It's Christmas in July. And it's a little ways off, but it's still Christmas in July. A lovely song. Isn't that a great way to welcome everyone? Hey. So today, we're going to talk about what to look for reselling when you're thinking about Christmas coming up. So the summer is actually an amazing time for people to find a lot of this stuff. And that's when we do find quite a bit. We find a ton at thrift stores when it comes time for the holiday stuff to come out in like September-ish kind of period. But why is Christmas in July a thing? I honestly don't know, other than the simple fact that a number of years ago, Hallmark started launching its Christmas ornaments in July. And that's one of the main things we're going to focus on today. So I've got my good dog with me. He's helping us today downstairs. I'm
sleepy. Just to let you know, I'm sleepy.
He's sleepy.
Poking with a stick if I start snoring.
I'm going to make myself a little bit bigger there. There we go. There we go. And we're centered. So I'm matching you.
Am I too big?
Huh? No, you're at the right size. So big hello to everybody who's joined us here. Thank you so much to everybody who's a member of the Kennel Club. And those Kennel Club people, you actually will see their little icons beside their names, and that tells you how long they've been sponsors of the Kennel Club for $2.99 a month. It helps us help you in reselling. So hopefully today, that's what it's all about. You're going to find things today that would easily pay the $3 a month that we ask. In fact, for you Kennel Clubbers, after this show ends, there'll be a special Kennel Club video with 3 arbitrage things that I really think you should be talking about. But I'm not telling you, I'm going to talk about a lot of them today, but there's 3 others that are going to be specially for the Kennel Club that you're going to get the link on YouTube for that will launch just later on tonight. But a big hello to Sherry, who's looking forward to this subject, and Lisa, and Heather, and Janet, and Diana, and also to everybody who's not a Kennel Club member. Thank you for joining us here as well. So Kendra, and Dawn, and Elisa. Let's see what else we got here. Susan. Hey, Paul. Let's see. Elisa found 2 packets of Kurt Adler mini ornaments today. There you go. No, he did not have a nap. And Joel. And let's see. Oh, that looks like all I got in there.
Give me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes.
What? Oh, yes, the link will be posted there. Hey, Cher, Collectibles, thanks for joining us here. Welcome. And yes, no, Rick didn't have his nap today. So might be it's your first time here, Cher. Again, thanks for popping in. So today, again, we're talking about Christmas in July. And I wanted to focus on this for a couple of reasons. One is that there's a lot of people, like Christmas sells year round. So first of all, let's just mention the fact that Christmas does sell year round. In the past month ourselves, we've sold 3 or 4 different ornaments, basically one almost a week. We really actually sell about 1 ornament every 2 weeks or so. So it's something very common for us, especially when we look at things that we have multiples of or things like that. So we do a lot of arbitrage. And so that's what we call it, arbitrage, since we're dogs. And that's where you purchase something at retail and then flip it for more money. So that's the key for this. You're buying something on retail and you're selling it for more money. You're not trying to thrift things. Now, there's a combination of things that you're able to do when you're doing this as a reseller. So with reselling arbitrage, it's stuff that everybody gets a chance to look for right now. And for those of you who are watching, you'll have a chance to look for stuff that other people might not even be thinking of. Not only brand new, but there's also the side of thrifting and garage selling and estate selling and everything like that. So this is where we're going to talk to you about not only the stuff that's new or coming out, but stuff that you should be looking for when you're actually out there. Joel's just been out thrifting all day, got home, and he's ready for a nap. Andrew already has way too much Christmas. Please don't tempt you to pick up more. I know. I did. Like, I'm sorry. I behind Rick, you will see, and we'll go through some of those things if we get a chance to today as well. Last week, 2 dozen Sears Roebuck plastic lace ornaments in original boxes and a very brittle, thin plastic ice rink with plastic shaker. And those are actually can be really good. And Heather just sold a Jingle Pal. What's a Jingle Pal? Why, this is a Jingle Pal that you turn on.
It looks like you're shaking that.
That's them going down the road. Like,
yes, I know. It looks like you're
there.
shaking it, though.
I'm not. It's not me doing
It is
that.
making me dizzy.
This is actually a Jingle Pal, which is exactly what Heather said she sold. We picked this up for $4.99. When you do look for these kind of guys, the Jingle Pals, what we want you to do is remember, Rick, if you see stuff you need me to look at, you're supposed to star it so that I can look at it. You can click on stuff, but star it. But this is when you're looking for Jingle Pals. It's all about condition in a lot of the cases. But also, if you can find them, and I still do find a lot that still have their tags on that have been bought by somebody and given to somebody, this can actually just add a little bit more to the value of things. So I'm going to talk about them in a minute as well, especially one that the Canadians here will have an amazing time, hopefully, trying to find, because we just found one last year, if you remember. Sherry's Jingle Pals are headed for Whatnot. Very good. Just remember the shipping. We're actually part of a Christmas in July show that's going to be coming up in 2 weeks on the Saturday. It's 2 days in a row on Whatnot, where a bunch of different sellers are actually going to be doing stuff every hour and a half or so. Just see if I'm popping this on. So just sorry to get here. Where is us? Here we are. And there we are. So this is our Christmas in July show that's coming up right there on July 22nd. Beach and Christmas in July train event. So it's 2 full days. So we did actually do some really good sales last year, didn't we, on Whatnot, Rick? We did Christmas throughout October, November, December. Yep. It's our first foray onto Whatnot, and we did really good with those. I think I saw somebody, how many aluminum trees can one person have? You may have reached if you have aluminum trees, you've got money like sitting in your pocket. We have an aluminum tree.
As long as they're in good condition.
As long as they're in good condition and complete. We've got one that we're trying to figure out what to do with that we bought at Brimfield, actually. And we actually had to buy a stand. We spent $35 just for a stand so that we had the entire thing. Joel said after doing his movie, he ended up with 10 Jingle Pals he forgot about. Oh, Diana saw one last store, but they were all trashed. Yeah, they can be trashed. That's one of the harder things to find. You want an aluminum tree. You need a color wheel. Hey, I know somebody who has a color wheel.
I think we might have 2.
I think we do have 2.
Except one sounds like a train rumbling past the tree. But
the big thing to talk about, again, is we're going to start focusing on Hallmark today. We may end up doing 2 of these. Like, we've got so much stuff to talk to you about that we may end up doing this for like part 1 and part 2. But the big thing I want to focus on today is Hallmark. And again, the reason that I do want to focus on this Hallmark thing is because coming up on July 15th is the Keepsake Ornament Premiere. So this is when Hallmark launches all its new ornaments. Well, not even all its new ornaments. About 70% of its newer ornaments. And there's a number of these that you can get that could be really good potential flips for you. And I'm just going to show you an example of one that we did last year. We picked this one up last year. And we picked this up literally in the stores. We actually went to a number of different stores to try and get this. This is, sorry, I'm just trying to get to a good picture of it. This is last year, it was the Peanuts Happy 100th Anniversary Charles Schultz. This ornament actually was something, hey, Mary! The ornament was actually something that was around, I think it was $27.99 US, might have been 35 Canadian. It sold out like that, and they didn't make enough of them. And so we ended up driving from Hallmark to Hallmark to Hallmark to pick these up. And we picked up quite a number of these. And we actually, a couple of people we know we told them about it, including Rick's brother, who lives in a different part of Canada. He picked them up. We know some people in the US who picked them up as well. And these have been selling since literally the days after they came out. These have been selling for $75. So a $40 to $50 potential gain. And this is what we talked about, arbitrage. So this is one of those things where we bought it for $25, $30, and boom. It's the equivalent to us of when we used to have Canadian maple, the Beanie Baby. And we used to drive all over the city for those for $9.99. But we would sell them the day we bought them for $100. Like that's
or the Hudson Bay Barbie doll.
And the Hudson Bay Barbie doll, which is a Canadian exclusive. That Snoopy ornament was not an exclusive. It was just such a cute ornament. I mean, realistically, it's like Snoopy at Charles Schultz's death, the 100th birthday. I mean, it's really, really cute ornament. So I think we still have a couple of these left that I'm going to be putting into our Hallmark in July thing, but we'll be selling these again for $75 to $85. And this is real sold prices on that. So that's the big thing coming up. No, we do not want any Princess Di Beanie Babies. We still have 2 or 3 of those. Unfortunately, yeah, a lot of Hallmark stores have closed. Heather's closed. Mary's closed. The thing about it is there are still places you can get it. You can get these online as well. So you can look to Hallmark online. So what I wanted to do, sort of take you through where we sit on this sort of stuff is, so here is Hallmark. Right now, there are 47,000 sold. This is sold items in the past 90 days. That's it. 90 days, the word Hallmark ornament, 47,000 plus on eBay. Now, not only that, the great thing is there's some ornaments that go absolutely nuts. And these aren't even necessarily that old. So I talked about the Schultz one. That's last year. $25 ornament selling for $75. Here's a couple of the other. Couple of years ago, they came out with the Scarlet. I know, $2,000. This was recalled. It was a Scarlett O'Hara 2020 keepsake ornament. It was recalled. But even like there's another one for $975. Comic-Cons are coming up. And at the Comic-Cons, take a look at this. Rancor Keeper, $750. This was something from a Comic-Con. So again, this is literally retail arbitrage. Why was it recalled? It was recalled because of the antebellum plantation-esque images. So it was deemed inappropriate any longer because it was Gone with the Wind was politically incorrect. They also had a Mickey Mouse ornament that played Song of the South. So both of those were, yeah, it was political. That's why Hallmark recalled them. But because that, in a lot of cases, they actually didn't even get out into the stores. So they were supposed to be returned. So that's one of the reasons that they are really, really sought after by people who just are collectors. But not only that, it doesn't even have to be that. It can be something as simple as Betty White. The Betty White ornament, which is actually, I'm not sure where it is. Oh, it's in the living room area right now because I'm just about to sell mine. This Betty White ornament, which is the talking Betty White ornament, you might remember I used to have it sitting here behind me, now been replaced with Tina Belcher, my spirit animal. This was a $20 ornament that literally... what?
I'm Tina-ing for you.
Oh, you're Tina-ing. It literally sells for upwards of $250. So again, that's something that people can look at. And again, it's 2020. In fact, the fun thing is this year, the final one from the Golden Girls. So they came out with Betty White. That goes for $250. Then they came out with Blanche Devereaux. That one sells for about retail. So that's the one thing is some stuff doesn't necessarily go up. Some stuff stays flat. Some stuff goes down. I mean, things like this, you would expect that an ornament like this, that's an older ornament. It's Sylvester and Tweety. This has got to be like a $20, $30, $40, $50 ornament because it's from 2003. And guess what? It's a $5 ornament. So you do have to do a bit of research, even on the Hallmark side when you're looking at old stuff. This year, though, as we're talking on the Golden Girl side, the B. Arthur as Dorothy is coming out. The biggest challenge that I found with this entire series for the Golden Girls is the quotes aren't the best quotes. Blanche actually has the best quotes, but the Dorothy quotes that I've heard this year, not really that great. Yeah. Oh, you're just telling somebody that. That's why. It wasn't a Frankenstein moment. So that's, again, it's another thing that is a recent thing. And then, as I told you, the Schultz ornament. This is something we had, and I bought this for me and then decided I'm flipping this. This was the Bat Cave. Now, this was an amazing ornament. I'm going to get a better picture of it for you. This was the Bat Cave. And I tell you, what ended up happening, this made Bat Cave sounds. And what happened was Dick, I don't know if they're showing it on here. Yeah, so that's the first image. When you press the button, the Bat Cave ornament sound went, and the doors closed up top, and the doors opened at the bottom. And there's Batman and Robin at the bottom. This is really bad pictures. But this was an ornament that cost $65, $70. But I sold mine for almost $200. And I decided to sell it for almost $200 because I thought, you know what? I'd rather sell it for $200 than not sell it at all and have it. It sort of made me think I'd rather have $100 in my pocket.
Yeah, the nice thing about that is it was battery operated.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be plugged in.
195, 200. Like a lot of people are $225, $274. So it's a $200 plus ornament. That's the interesting thing about that. So, and I think I got one more in here. Now, this is the other thing is it's not just ornaments. It's also other little things. We found these at a thrift store. They are Hallmark. They are little guys that dance, little tap dancing guys. And I found these at a thrift store at a Goodwill for $1.49 a piece. And the funny thing was, I picked up one and I left the other three. And then I came home and researched the one. And then I drove back immediately. I bought the other three. They take the batteries. And they're called Happy Tappers. And that's $150 for that one set. We actually sold we had 2 elves, I think, and 1 Santa and 1 reindeer. We didn't have the snowman. But that's another thing. So a lot of times, even it's not just ornaments. And a lot of those things are the types of things that you can start looking for when you are out there and going to garage sales and flea markets and estate sales, because this is where you can find a lot of these items, right, Rick?
Yes. Yes. Of course you can find them at estate sales.
I'm just saying if you're paying attention, that's all. So
I heard my name.
As an example, this is something that I don't know if you recall. I actually picked this up as an estate sale purchase. This was actually picked up from a Max Sold auction. And this Max Sold auction is right here. All of these ornaments, all these houses. Rick, can you go switch to Me Big? The one right beside it.
Let me try that one.
No, yeah, that's it. So I've literally got them all in here right now. And this particular lot of houses. Move there. Move you here. Is, as you can see, yeah, they do take up a lot of space. But this is a really cute set. It's a series. And they're all like little miniatures in the back. And I looked at this and I thought, this looks pretty good. And in fact, a couple of them had boxes. You can see in the picture, there's a couple of them that came with their boxes. And I looked at this, I thought, this is pretty interesting. I bought that entire lot, 37 pieces, all 37 pieces that you saw there. All 37 pieces for $55. That's all I paid, $55 for that whole set. And not only was I lucky enough that they had that there, but I also found this set, which was more. But it was a different kind of thing. And I used this. And again, this is Carl, the Lazy Resellers tip. I went for this and I clicked and I searched with Google Image. And this particular one, which is right here, Here's the little guy right there. I can click on this, click on the dot. I'm doing this on my desktop, and here it is. And let's just take a look at what this sells for. Rick saw me do this in the test, and he was like,
huh?
What?
What?
So this is the Housetop Santa musical ornament. Now, I do need to put new batteries in it, but $225. So I got 13 of those in this lot, as well as I was talking about. Or go back to the bigger picture again. 13 of those, and a lot of these ones, they're all motion and music and everything. They actually are $100 plus ornaments. So I'm hoping I paid for that lot. I paid $81. So these are online auctions that I managed to find these things from. And again, they were just amazing to find and grab. And I grabbed all of them thinking, I got to figure out what some of these are worth. And I'm hoping that between the 13 of those houses that are on there and then the 37 other houses, some of them are $10 houses. But there's a couple of houses in there that are actually in the $200 to $200 range. So that's one of the things that you want to look out for. And again, that's an estate sale. We've been to a lot of estate sales where we find a lot of Hallmark ornaments. I wish I had some pictures. I couldn't find them, but how many? We've been to a few, Rick, in the past 2 years. I think we've been to at least 5, 6, or 7.
Yeah, that looked like warehouse closings.
But they weren't. They were collectible, people collecting like crazy. And they had hundreds and hundreds of Hallmark ornaments. Now, the interesting thing is, a lot of those Hallmark ornaments were priced at $3 and $4 and $5. And I don't think we bought one in any of those sales, did we?
Actually, we got one Frosty Friends ornament.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That was in the bedroom at the top of the house, under a box of other random stuff.
But generally, all of the box items we didn't buy. But still, it was looking for a lot of that kind of stuff.
And there were always people in the corner with their Google or their cell phones looking things up on either Amazon or eBay or
every one of them. There were people downstairs. I think there was a lady. It looked like she hadn't left in 24 hours. And she had so many put aside. But again, you kind of have to be a little careful of them when you're getting them. But if you want to invest $1 or $2, and then that's the comment that you can lot up the groups. You can lot up the prices that are at $10 and less and do them at a larger price.
We've tried lotting them up on eBay. The challenge is trying to figure out how to describe them so that people would be willing to look at an odd lot of ornaments. Typically, when you're listing a Hallmark ornament, you list it by the UPC code. And that is one of the item specifics that drives search. When you've got 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 ornaments in a lot, what do you put for the UPC? Do you leave it blank? Do you say not applicable?
And then if you do end up with, if you can buy them in bulk, that's great. Sometimes you'll actually see that as well. If you are on Facebook, there are Hallmark groups. There are people trying to sell. And this is one of the big things we're seeing a lot of right now is on the Hallmark, one of the Hallmark Facebook groups that we're in, is a lot of people actually going, hi, I just joined. My mother has 20 years of Hallmark ornaments. What do I do with them? So there are people who are dealers who buy them all and buy them all in bulk. But again, you do have to watch it. For example, I talked to you about this one, this bubble one. Look, it's a $7 ornament. People can't sell it in the box for $7. So you do have to watch how you do those things. We actually sell a lot of these that were loose. We were doing those. Winnie the Pooh Noma thing. We were putting these on in little either singles or groups on Whatnot when we do our Whatnot shows for $3 or $4, and they were selling for $3 or $4. So that's one of the ways that you can also get rid of them. But you're gonna look. We want you to look for the things that potentially use your Google image to do some searching, and then maybe do a little bit of extra research yourself on the older items that are out there. Again, one of the other ones that we talked about is the Jingle Pals. So this is Jingle Pals, right? Now, if you're in Canada, There is a Jingle Pal that was exclusive to Canada. Exclusive. And if you can find this, and we did last year, we found this last year. This is the Canadian exclusive. It's a kitchen set. And it actually sells for usually well over $200, $300. And this one is actually listed on this place at $500. But that's it. It's a little kitchen one. I don't know why the picture keeps disappearing on me, but that's a really, really hard one to find. But you can go in and find out what year they're all from. Some do better than others. In fact, this year, Hallmark is bringing out a reissue of the Piano Player. So the Piano Player is usually a very good one. But again, be prepared. Bring a little tiny screwdriver and some batteries, because otherwise you're doing like me. Sometimes you're lucky and they're already, we're going to make Elise get busy again. No. Sometimes you're lucky and the batteries are still in them and they work. But other times, like any other interactive toy, and this would count in our interactive toy challenge from January, sometimes you need to look at them, because I did buy a couple last year and they didn't work. Make sure they're clean. Make sure nothing's broken on them. I've seen these with broken tips on the end. But again, this is all about everything has to happen on this. The lights have to happen on this, the lights in the face, all of that kind of stuff. So this is probably, for $4.99, this is probably going to be about a $25, $30 flip. So not giant money, but you add up a few of those. Okay, so Andrew's saying I put the UPC in the best item generally.
That's when there are lots of things.
Mary says put the UPCs in the description so you can catch them in the search engine. That's too much work for me, Mary. I just say cartoon ornaments. Paul says add the different UPCs in the item specifics. Yeah, I guess you
Those are good techniques,
but I don't know how many people are looking for Hallmark ornaments based on a UPC. I think people are looking for those 90% of the time. They're going to be looking for them based on a character or something along those. Yeah. Corroded can be fixed. Yep. If it's corroded, which battery things can be corroded, vinegar and a
Q-tip.
Just put vinegar on a Q-tip and you can actually take all the corrosion away. Really easy. I just did it to a Teddy Ruxpin yesterday. You repair a lot with battery cases. Yeah. Diana said to get your ex to fix them. So that's one of the other things that we're talking about. So keep your eyes open, and I do just have an image of that sound one there just to see so you can see that. See, it lights up. There's 2015. So again, this is a $200 item that lights up, has sound, and is not even 10 years old. So you can find good things when you're looking at that.
Now, do they have a video in their listing?
I don't know. Isn't it supposed to be the second one if they do?
Yeah.
No.
That is a missed opportunity right there.
Yeah, they're showing all the pictures of everything lighting up and closing.
And it has sound.
And no, they've just added tons and tons of pictures to make your own still version. You got to quickly quit through it. There, the kids are coming out. No, they're hiding. Yeah, you should be making sure you do that for sure with anything that's along those lines, is always try and do videos of anything that's got music and movies to it. So that's one of the things we want you to do. We want you to focus on looking at Hallmark that's out there that could be, before you arbitrage, things that can come up. And if you start looking at the Hallmark ornaments that are sold, that are in there, you can start finding things that you may even want to look for. So, for example, one of the things that surprised me the most was I was looking up something and it was babies first, right? So you think, okay, nobody would want a baby's first ornament from some previous year. Well, take a look at this. This 2013 baby's first ornament, yes, $325
for a 10-year-old ornament.
For a 10-year-old ornament. And those are 3 sold in the last April, May, and June. And this is the ornament. I'll show you the original. This, and the reason for this particular one, and I look for this one now all the time when I go to thrift stores, is it was so fragile that people break it. And people want that ornament. So you might think, no one will want a baby's first Christmas from years ago. No one wants that old baby thing. Like, as again, $325. And that's for that 2013 one. If we go to other ones, take a look, it's $191. There's a 2006 rattle, $149. There's another 2006 rattle. So you would never think to get a 2006 rattle. There's a 2017 Winnie the Pooh. Oh, that's a lot of 11 ornaments. But here's 2010, $75. So keep your eyes open even for things that are like dated ornaments, and do that quick little piece of research. So I was actually going to throw out, we had some ornaments that we got with our first, this is going back 20 years ago, with our first puppies. It was puppy's first ornament, and they're all puppy's first ornament, 2001 kind of thing.
They're older than that, honey.
Actually, they were in the 90s. So, but with those, our puppies had passed, and we didn't really put them on the tree anymore. And I was literally going to go, well, no one would want these. I'm going to toss them out. I'm going to put them into like the thrift store. And then I looked them up. People were buying them for that sentimental reason. So sometimes they actually do that. That's what happens, Mary, is people break them. I literally, in one of the Facebook groups I was in, somebody just asked about that very same 2000 and whatever one I said, that 2013 one that I said that's selling for $300, and they were like begging. And of course, I don't believe a soul. Oh, mine is broken, and I really wanted my daughter to have it for some reason. Like, okay, your daughter's 10. But is there anybody who'd sell me one for $100? Oh, I hate seeing that. I hate seeing that. It's like, no, because you're going to flip it. I don't believe your story. I don't believe the story your dog bought this on eBay. I don't believe the story that you're sick and dying and you need this to go in your grave with you. I don't believe any of that crap. So keep your eyes open.
Spend it all before you die.
Use your Google image. Use your eBay to scan. Like Google image in a store. Scan them at a garage sale if you can. Or if they're in a bunch, you never know. Try and do what I just did on that one Max Sold. If you've on a high bid or on Max Sold and you see a lot of things, you might find one thing in there that has the value of the entire lot. Again, we just did something like that again with a not completely other kind of lot. So we bought a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to show you, even though this isn't what we're talking about now with Hallmark, but this is something else that I remember showing people, and we have not even gone through any of this yet. This entire tub of glass ornaments we have to sort through. But we got them at the end of an estate sale for like this plus some others for $50. I think that whole tub cost us like $20 or $25, something.
Yeah,
like and then we had, on top of that, we also had these other boxed ornaments and everything like that, which I'm going to try and get into, but I think we may end up having to do this as a two-parter because we're halfway through and I haven't even talked about the big thing, which is the fact that it is the Keepsake Ornament Premiere. Woohoo! And this is the big thing for retail arbitrage. Hallmark's Keepsake Ornament Premiere. So this is actually launching July 15th. So it's literally 4 days from now. A lot of the stores are already set up. This is already online with Hallmark. So if you are looking to shop, you can shop on there. And this is the amazing thing is you'll find a whole bunch of neat ornaments. Hey, Becky. You'll find a whole bunch of neat ornaments in there that I'm going to take you through some of them right now. So the great thing is this is on hallmark.com. If you're in Canada, use the .com to find out more of the information about these because it actually has videos of a lot of the ones that have sound or motion or anything like that. And I'm going to show you some of the ones that I think are going to be the hottest ones for this year. And again, if you're a Kennel Club member, there are going to be a couple of woofs specifically that I'm not talking about here that you will see in your own video that will show up on YouTube later on tonight. But this is the great thing is on this thing that starts off, there are 250 new ornaments. There's all sorts of different categories that you can go through. So magic being movement, motion, sound, light. Series. So every year they have series that start and end, and some that are like that houses. This houses that I was talking about, they're in their 40th year of doing these houses now. So that's 40 years of houses. But favorite characters, which is a lot of Disney things, sci-fi, which they do a ton of now, minis, and limited quantity. So one thing you can do about this is you can go into this and you can start looking at what's there. So the limited quantity ornaments are the ones that launch the day of the actual sale. So they launch on the 15th. Some of these will sell out literally that day. And this is a group. This is what they've done. So they have every year, they have a Santa, a white and a black Santa, but they have one reindeer. And the reindeer is only available, Father Christmas's reindeer is only available on as limited quantities. And this is usually gone within the first weekend from any place. So that's one of the things you look out for is this keepsake Father Reindeer. Now, the prices I'm showing you here are all US prices on Hallmark.com. In Canada, this would probably be about a $28 item. So this is it. So, and again, so there's Father Christmas, and this is his reindeer. So you can order this. If you wanted to order this, they will only let you order one, but you can order this. In Canada, there is a couple of places you can potentially order them from. I thought I had a link somewhere. Oh, there it is. You can also look. No, that's not it. That's Hervé Villach's Midget Delight Productions. So it's a Hallmark Cards in Pickering, and actually Hallmark Cards Pickering, they actually will mail to you. So you can shop on them, but don't go there because that's where I buy my stuff. But yeah, so there's giving away one of my places. They let me do videos of their store. I'm going to be doing that. So these are the limited quantity ornaments. There's usually a car. This is Cogsworth and Lumiere. This is Nostalgic Houses. As I said, this is a limited edition Nostalgic House. Franklin from Peanuts. Hermione from in the Yule Ball ornament. Some of them Yule don't sell. I do not think that this will be a good one. I think Hermione will be a bad one. I think that's an awful looking ornament. Mischievous Kittens, Jafar. These Disney Precious Moments porcelain ornaments go really fast. They're limited editions, and this is Maleficent. R2D2. This is an interesting one. I don't know if there's a market for this. R2D2 serving droid. Drink serving. I honestly don't know. It means nothing to me at all. But it's a limited edition, and they're not always specific to one type of thing. This is from Soul, and they do these a couple of times a year. So they do some limited editions in October as well. What you can also do if you go down the side here is you can actually, let me see, I think it's the next one. You can actually put in what kind of things are there for first in series and final in series. Now, the reason I talk about first and final, those are the two things that go nuts for a lot of people. So the challenge becomes trying to decide if this first ornament if this ornament series is going to have legs. Some of the ornament series last 6, 7, 8, or 9 things. Sometimes there's also one or two amazing ones inside there, but Games Night, for example, is ending this year, and it's only in its 9th episode. But the Nostalgic House is 40. Frosty Friends is huge. The 1982 Frosty Friends is a few $100 ornament. So here we have the ornaments that are coming up that are brand spanking new. This one is first in the series. You can see right here, it says first in the series. So this is Mythical Mermaids. And this is the first in the series of mini American trucks. I would say no to the mini trucks. I see these all over the place. The trucks and cars and Fords, and not that great. I have some interest in looking at this for $17. So there we go here. There she is. So it's an interesting one. Again, you can order 15 of these if you wanted to.
Flounder was her father.
Huh?
Flounder was her father.
So mythical mermaids. And if you go to this site, the nice thing is you can actually go down here and there's a little video button by a lot of these. In some of the cases, it actually is a video. In this case, you won't be able to hear it, of the person who created it. And it talks about the actual ornaments, like who created it, what their inspiration was, that sort of thing. So this happens to be one of their big designers as well. It's not.
I thought that was Melissa McCarthy singing.
No, it's not any of it. Well, Don said there used to be a Hallmark in Whitby, but I think it closed. No, there is a Hallmark store out in Malvern.
Oshawa.
Milton. We pass it on the way to the casino. There's one, and I think there is one in London. There's fewer Hallmark stores everywhere, but again, you can see a video on something like that. So that's, again, you can look up there and see what you have that is a first in the series or final in the series. This is the garden ornament, and this is actually the final in the series and it's Uno. And I actually think this might be a popular ornament. Some of the ornaments from this series have actually do really, really well. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to do this right. So that's what the ornament actually looks like. So it actually has the cards all laid out and everything, and it has a little thing on the top of it. So this is that's the view of the actual ornament with cards and everything like that. So Rick, can you let's look up Hallmark Family Game Night for me? So
where?
On eBay.
Okay.
So that's another one that's a first of a kind. Now, here's a couple that I think not only, so you can do all sorts of things like that, but you can also look up some others. These are all the limited ornaments that are coming out. But here's some that I think are going to be big hits that I think are really going to be good for arbitrage. Family Matters Steve Urkel ornament. I mean, at least the difference between, they do a lot of these. They have The Office coming up. They have 6, 7, 8, 9 more different like TV shows. But a lot of times they don't do the right quotes. As I said, with Golden Girls, even the Betty White quotes weren't the best. The Blanche quotes were the really good ones. But this Urkel ornament, I mean, please.
Danger's my middle name. Oh, well, actually, it's Quincy, but you guys get the picture. Did I do that?
There you go, Lisa.
I'm falling and I can't get up.
So it's got those 3 phrases underneath it. And the fact that it's got the "did I do that" to me is iconic as who Steve Urkel is. So it's one of the ones that I think is a really good potential ad for anybody who's looking at something to arbitrage. And again, what I love about these is they aren't necessarily, whatever they paid him, it was not enough. That is so true. It's not necessarily even a Christmas ornament. You can have this ornament on your desk all the time. We do. I have my Haunted Mansion ornament that I play all the time up here, and I have one downstairs. I had my Betty White and my Blanche Devereaux behind me until I decided I'm going to sell them. So, yeah, Rick? Oh, yeah. What's that? Oh, there's the Haunted Mansion one. So, wait. Can you show it, Rick?
Oh, no, the battery's out on that one.
Oh, I can show it.
When hinges creak in doorless chambers, and strange and frightening sounds echo through the halls, whenever candlelights flicker, where the air is deathly still, that is the time.
Now, sometimes it's actually, and here's actually, just so I said, this is just so you know, this is Nostalgic Houses for this year. This is the Tudor shop. And again, this is actually, again, really cute. You look at the back of them. This is one of the things I love about those Nostalgic Houses. This is the 2023 one. There's the back with all the little things inside. These are not musical or anything like that, but could be. The Tudor home has a good sort of, a bit of a mid-century vibe to it. I wish they would come out with an MCM series of houses. I think that would go absolutely nuts. Well, it's funny that it's funny that you would actually mention Nothing Says That Like the Haunted Mansion, because one of the big things this year is going to be the Haunted Mansion. And this is coming out. It is a Haunted Mansion tree topper. And it is a full motion tree topper. Yes, it's 150 US, 199 Canadian. And it is a full thing. I'm going to put the video on. You won't be able to hear any of the sound from this because I didn't set it up that way. But this is what it is. It actually has the voices underneath and the music underneath. And this is not small. This is a large item. They had Hagrid's Castle. And this is what's, by their standpoint, is called, it's a tree topper, but it works with other ornaments. And yes, there are other ornaments in the Haunted Mansion collection, including a casket and Madame Leota, which is, again, that's one of my favorite ones on the whole thing. So it's Madame Leota, which she's going to actually be coming out. Jamie Lee Curtis plays her in the movie. And I think there's one more. There's three of them. There's this whole set, too, of Hocus Pocus. I don't think they look the greatest, but I think this will be a big seller for the Hocus Pocus side of things. So where was I? So I did Urkel. There's other ones that are, I know there's a nostalgia to this. This is an amazing thing. It's the Nelco eggnog machine. Now, be patient. This is a little bit of a long video, but it's just amazing. I got to show this to you.
Hi, we at Nelco want to introduce you to this year's offering. It's the Nelco Eggnog Machine. This is inspired by vintage vending machines and school lunches because you get one of those little cartons like you got cartons of milk. This is a magic ornament. There's a little bit of a light show on the top highlighting the different flavors of eggnog that you can choose. There are 3 different types. Once you press the button, you will hear your coin drop. You will hear some music. And then you can get a surprise as to which of the 3 eggnogs shows up in the bin.
So again, I just think that is such an adorable ornament. And based on history, these nostalgic type things have a huge market for flipping as well. Yes, nothing says Christmas like a casket on a tree. Actually, Kendra, yes, we do. We pick up Hortons and Starbucks ornament. And most of the time we don't pick up, okay, I'll say this, not on arbitrage. I don't pick up the Hortons ornaments the year they come out, but I will pick up Hortons and Starbucks ornaments in a thrift store. And actually, there's a couple of Hortons ornaments that we sold last year for $60, $70, $80 an ornament. So we do watch out for those, but we never pay retail for those because there's not enough of a market to flip those. Same with the Starbucks Christmas mugs and the Hortons Christmas mugs, not a big enough markup for them. We're only talking about $4 or $5. So we want to try and find, like, I think this eggnog machine will be a $50 thing, and it will sell out. It like really, really fast. A couple of others. This is the Tudor house I talked about. Here's an interesting one that I think you might actually look at. This is a Netflix The Witcher, and it's Geralt of Rivia ornament. Now, here's the reason that I think this is one of those flip the switch. This is going to be one of 2 things. This is either going to be huge, or this is going to be on their 75% clearance rack in January. And the reason behind it is that Henry Cavill, who plays Geralt the Witcher, quit the series. So this is his last season that just launched this past week on Netflix. Season 3 is his last season. What's happening is the show isn't ending. The Witcher isn't ending. But Chris Helmsworth is taking... Chris Helmsworth? One of the Helmsworths. Who does Thor? That's Chris. It's the Liam Helmsworth from Hunger Games, Miley's ex. He is becoming the Witcher. He's becoming Geralt. So I don't know whether this will be huge because, again, it's no longer going to be Henry Cavill. And this is definitely Henry Cavill's face. This is definitely a Henry Cavill face. So this is one of those ones that you might go, I don't know if I want to risk it. I will probably pick up one because I don't mind The Witcher. So I don't mind if I have to resell it and not make any money, but I might risk it on one. I'll see how they seem to sell in the stores. This is going to be a huge one. I'm positive. This isn't available till October. So they split stuff up between October and June. This is another one that I think is going to be huge. This is the first one of this kind. These are new now showing ornaments. So the marquee of the actual of a movie theater. And here is there's no audio to this. It's just this. It's just a light up ornament that does this. But I think the iconic poster and the price as well. $24.99. This, I think, is going to be huge. That's probably for sure for me. There is the third. Yeah, he was in the third Helmsworth brother was in Westworld. He did okay. But yeah, I guess he didn't get the genes. Becky says she has 2 Hallmark stores within 10 minutes of her house. Used to be a big collector. Have many moving ornaments still plugged into the old trees. Yeah, you never know. You may want to take a picture or two of those, Becky, and decide whether they're worth more than some of the jewelry you're selling. Carl says, don't worry. I'm sure Liam will lose his shirt in every second episode. So that Star Wars one is another big one. And then this is like that Batman ornament. I told you about the Batman ornament and how it was amazing. It had the music, the bat sound, and you saw Batman go and Robin go as Bruce Wayne and his ward go down, and then they turned it. This is, I think, going to be easily $100 plus flip. I think this will sell out so fast. This is it's 65 US. It's going to probably be about 85 to 90 Canadian, but I got to show you this sound in motion.
What if he doesn't survive? He's worth a lot to me.
The Empire will compensate you if he dies. Put him in.
Stop, Chewie! Stop! Stop!
This
stop!
is
Listen
the
to me!
entire
Yes, stop, please! I'm not
theme
ready to die! Hey! Listen to me!
for Han and
Chewie!
Carbonite.
Chewie, this won't help me! Hey!
Save your strength.
So none of
Maybe
these are
another
moving at this time. You just hear all this.
The princess. You have to take care of her. You hear me?
It's a long thing. But if you're a Star Wars fanatic, I love you. I know.
I love you.
I know.
Now this is what's iconic about it to me. Come on now. It is long. There he goes. I love this. I think they could have just put the I love you, I know for this. Because otherwise it is like the iconic drum roll score. So again, it could be shorter. But, right, Mary?
Imagine walking past the tree if that were motion activated.
But yeah, to me, this is an awesome one. And again, it was $65 for the Batman one that sells for $200 now. This is a $65 thing. It is never going to be a loss for anybody. And again, that's the kind of thing that can sit on the tree, or you can have for a long period of time. That's one thing for sure. You can have. Hey, Kevin, for a long period of time. Now, whenever you're looking at these kind of things, I want you to also remember that they are also things that are called red box ornaments. Now, these are available at your Hallmark stores. These are available at Hallmark online. Red box Hallmark ornaments are the ones that you'll find at Walmart, Shoppers Drug Mart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, things like that. Target even. They are a cheaper version of all these. So they 90% of the time, they may have a light on them, but they're mostly still ornaments. So a perfect example of, if I can find this thing, let me just see if I can look up this quickly. Hallmark Golden Girls. So just to give you an idea, this is, I got an ornament, sorry, ornament. So this is the, I told you about the Betty White ornament. So this is the Betty White ornament. This is the red box ornament. And this is what red box ornaments look like. They are very small. Like this is it. This is like they're in these kind of red boxes. They're a lot cheaper as well. So they're cute and they are collectible. Some of them can actually go for good money, but you can see the difference between a red box ornament. So keep your eyes open again for those red box type ornaments. Here's one more that I think could be.
Craig.
Yeah.
Before you head on to that, I think the Han Solo in carbonite was one of the ornaments that needed the magic cord.
Oh yes, it does.
So you want to explain what that is?
So the magic cord, let me just see if I can find that link again. So the magic cord, yeah. So it says right on the thing, keepsake power cord is required. This is a way that Hallmark gets away with something that bugs me in a lot of cases. It's a separate cord that powers them. So this will not work on its own. You have to buy a $30 power or $25 power cord. But the power cord lets you plug 7 ornaments together, 7 of these storytelling or type ornaments together. So I don't know why they did it that way, but there's a number of them. I have another couple.
Oh, I know why they did it that way.
Well, they did it that way, so you have to buy a power cord. And
actually,
actually,
you have to buy all 7 ornaments.
Well, no, you don't. The power cord
it makes you want to buy all 7 ornaments. It makes you want to.
Well, it doesn't have to be the same ones, right? No. It doesn't have to be from the same series or anything like that. The red box is for $1 at Fortino's, yeah. So that's just so. But that's what the power cord is, and I don't know. Again, I don't know, Rick, if you can look that up while I'm looking this sort of thing and see if you can find something on there. Let's see if I can find it. So this is, here they are. This is the Keepsake Magic Power Cord, and you can see on there it is $15, and it lets you add to a bunch of. So all of these are keepsake ornaments that need the power cord. This is from This is from Christmas National Lampoon. This is the Holiday Lighthouse. So a lot of these need the power cord. So I don't know if that one needs. I don't think this one needs the power cord.
Yeah.
Yep. So you need the power cord even for that. So the one thing as a reseller to think about is the power cord will actually, if you're selling these and they need a power cord, people are going to buy your ornament and then want to return it because it doesn't work because they didn't read anything with it. So the one thing that I do caution people, so even if you're looking at that eggnog one, buy it and a power cord so you can sell the 2 of the things together, because that's going to be the one thing that makes people return it. If they can't work it when they get it home and they didn't read that, they're going to want to end up doing a return.
Yeah, the other thing you can do is when you're at estate sales, garage sales,
yeah,
even at thrift stores, I've seen them in all 3 locations.
Yes, we actually have like 5 or 6 of them now that we picked up in various places. So they get turned in a lot for thrift stores, but we pick them up at estate sales and things like that, and we sell them with an ornament for it. Here's the last one I'm going to talk about. I realize we're almost at an hour, so we're going to split this into 2 parts. We're going to do part 2 next week. And we're going to talk about all sorts of different things. I'll give you a tiny preview of them. But this is the one other that I think could be a big hit coming up this year, and that is the Schitt's Creek David Rose ornament. So I think it's an iconic one. That it's the first one from the Schitt's Creek series that I know of. It is a talking one. Just takes a battery inside it. And he has 3 or 4 different, I think 3 things that he says from the show. So I think that's going to be another one of the hits per se. Now there's so many others that we could talk about, but I think we're going to, as I said, we're going to do another show at part 2 of this. So this was all about Hallmark, but as a retail arbitrager and for Christmas in July, there's so many other things you can think about, like Christopher Radko, like Disney from the Disney stores for their Disney ornaments, like Limax or Limax, depending on how you want to say it, that it's enough for us to cover an entire other hour. So we're going to do another show next Tuesday, and that will be on part 2 of Christmas in July. So non-Hallmark based, but I wanted you to know about this Hallmark stuff now because, again, the Hallmark keepsake is coming up in 3 or 4 days. So if you get a chance, pop into a Hallmark, go take a look, see what's in there, try out the stuff on the store walls, because that's what we do. We try them out. That's why I only bought one Sophia last year, because I didn't like the sound of it, because there was a click in it. And so it said, instead of a nice smooth picture it, Sicily, it said picture it, Sicily. And I went, huh? And I went to 4 different stores and it did the same thing. Our sorting hat from Harry Potter that I do like clicks, the mouth clicks, because the sorting hat has to move. So you can test them and see what it's like, and see if it's something that you want to buy for yourself. And again, they can be used, a lot of these, by year round, or if you want to buy it for arbitrage and try and post potential for this. Join the Hallmark groups as well on Facebook. There's a few Hallmark groups. The nice thing about that is you actually can start seeing some of the hints that I'm giving you on stuff. You'll see people talking about stuff that it's like, oh my God, I can't get this anywhere. And that's what made us realize that we needed to run out and buy the Charles Schultz 100th anniversary one, because we saw within a day of this launching, so many people posting into the group. The limited edition ones they're available in store as well. So you can get them all in store, but they're limited to in store. Some stores take pre-shipping orders as well. So they may have, you can put on all your list saying, I want all these things. And they may not even get one to put out from the limited edition side, because they only get a certain amount that's in there. So as an example, when we were talking about these here, if everybody wanted to get this, if everybody wanted a Father Christmas's reindeer, or wanted a Mischievous Kitten's 25th anniversary. And again, when you're looking at these, take a look and see what the rest of the series, if there's a series of these, what the other things are going for. And you may end up deciding, you know what, I wasn't thinking about trying to risk an arbitrage on a Precious Moments figure, but it seems that they go really well in resale. It seems that villains do really well. So we had the chat, but it seems that the R2-D2 may do very well. And personally, I hate this R2-D2. I don't like it at all. So I'm not, if it goes for good money, and if you get a chance, again, going to any of the comic conventions, San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, if there's anything at Fan Expo, if you ever get a chance to any of those, pick up one of every one that you possibly can. We used to go to Comic-Con in New York City, and we literally would line up. I'd make Rick get up, come to Comic-Con, line up for the Hallmark store, so we literally could get 2 of every ornament. And all I was doing with this, as well as 99% of the other people in there, we were all flipping those ornaments. So I actually got friends of mine who were there who didn't care about the Star Wars ornaments to line up with Rick and I, so that we bought 4 of those limited edition ornaments to resell, because that's exactly what we ended up doing, is reselling all of those. So much arbitrage about relocating items from lower demand areas to higher demand areas. Yes. So much what Rick's saying there is, I'll let Rick say it.
Well, basically, there are lots of areas in the country, or our countries, where there are not big retail shops or stores, and people can't get them. So they look to the internet to buy online. We kind of handle the logistics in getting something they can't get where they are to something that we might have an easier time getting where we are.
And that's one of the reasons that we always say, as resellers, we do not only a job for ourselves in reselling, but I think it's a fair job that we do. People who don't have a Hallmark store because they closed still want the ornaments. People who may have missed an ornament series that never got it still want to find that. Somebody who has a break in an ornament and they need to replace it, they need to find it. Who's there for us? Us, the resellers. So might as well that be you're like us, and you might be able to find some of these things. So between older ornaments, take a look at what's out there. When you see lots of things, take a look at what you might buy. Take your risks, like I've done on that Christopher Radko, which we'll talk more about next week. And this is going to take me a good day to list, but I'm going to be having to Google every single house.
And a week for me to photograph and video.
Well, no, it's not a week because it's going to be like front, side, and bottom. Like it's a really quick photo, but these are all in great shape. And so again, 37 ornaments for $55. That's $1.50 a piece. And I know one of those ornaments that's in there is a $150 ornament. So I just got lucky with something like that. You could get lucky as too. So hopefully you'll arbitrage a little bit from this. You'll take a look. Post in here if you see something you think is a good ornament that other people might want to buy. Let them know. And again, if you're in the Kennel Club, take a look. There will be a video coming up just for you in the YouTube community channel. And you'll see, I think you'll get a notice of it as a member, talking about 3 things we did not talk about today that we think are really going to be big arbitrage things. Woof. Thank you so much. Next Tuesday, we will be back with the rest of the Christmas world, since it's still July and it's still Christmas in July. Right, Rick?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas in July.
Thanks, everybody. Comic-Con's in October, just in case you're wondering. San Diego Comic-Con is in the next week or 2. Well,
it is.
Jingle bells, jingle bells. There, I'll just hold him there so I'm holding him in place. Oh, geez, help me.